Top 3 Pet Sharks. 3 Perfect shark additions to your aquarium. Sharks. They really are the misunderstood creatures of the briny seas. People are petrified of them, which may be good, except once they want to travel all Clint Eastwood and take away all the sharks. People, however, should really remember that we are encroaching on their natural habitat and not the opposite way around. Also, most shark attacks happen when people don't hear warnings. Overall, though, sharks are cool creatures. They're smart, they understand how to require care of themselves, and they've remained basically unchanged for lots of years, which is pretty incredible. So what's to not love, right? If you think about yourself a shark aficionado, and are finally thinking of buying one for your aquarium, there are some stuff you should know. Tread carefully. If you've never had a fish before, as a pet, think hard before getting a shark. Owning a shark isn't like owning a guppy. They're saltwater creatures and thus need lots of specialized care. So start out easy, and work your far to shark owner status. If it smells sort of a shark and is labeled a shark, it must be a shark, right? Wrong. There are plenty of seafood that are labeled shark. These could also be really cool and amazing fish, but they're most definitely not sharks, so research carefully. Fish commonly mistaken for sharks include the bola shark, red-tailed shark, rainbow shark, and therefore the iridescent shark. Finding the correct shark. There are many popular sharks to settle on from. However, we must again stress the importance of researching your required shark species. Many sharks become old to be really, really big. This implies they're not be suitable for the average-sized home aquarium. Not an issue for the upper rich, though. You'll be able to afford to possess a swimming pool-sized tank put into your mansion, which is best for taking care of your enemies, character villains, anyway. As an example, the shark is popular, but it always grows to be too big for many home aquariums. Our top 3 picks for pet sharks. Number 3, the wobbegong. Apart from having just about the best name ever, this is often a decent shark for a home aquarium, but given that you get certain species. Many of the big species of this family can grow to be up to 10 feet long. Usually found off the coasts of Australia and Indonesia, the wobbegong are bona fide members of the shark family, thus classified thanks to the copperhead-like markings on their bodies. The wobbegong also encompasses a slow metabolism, and just about likes to sit down at the underside of its tank, hanging out. It also eats about twice per week, which implies it's a reasonably low-maintenance sort of pet shark. If you wish one as a pet, the simplest small species of the wobbegong to possess are the tasseled wobbegong and Ward's wobbegong. Number 2, the bamboo shark. The bamboo shark family itself contains 7 different species, including the brown-banded, spotted, and white-spotted bamboo sharks. They're mainly found within the Indo-West Pacific and have a pair of rather dexterous fins that they use to steer on the Davy Jones, or in your tank. Although the bamboo shark gets along fine with other fish, you almost certainly shouldn't put other fish within the aquarium that are large enough to seem like an appetizing treat for the shark. This can be because the bamboo shark gets hungrier than his sluggish wobbegong friend. However, if you ought to feed it sometimes daily, with fishy delicacies like shrimp, fish, and squid, all should be. Additionally, a bamboo shark should only be placed in a very large aquarium, as this shark family prefers lots of room to swim about, often in the dock, as they're nocturnal. Number 1, the epaulet. This is just about the foremost popular of all shark pets. And why not? He's a handsome fella. Slender, slick, fast-moving, and also the proud bearer of, among the others on his body, 2 big dock spots above his pectoral fins that resemble the flowery epaulets on military uniforms, thus his rather unusual name. An Australian shark, the epaulet makes a wonderful pet shark, because it likes confined spaces. It makes them feel safe. A bottom feeder, the epaulet also prefers wide, open, sandy-bottomed aquariums. And like many other sharks, the epaulet will often fast for some weeks before having a feast. And yes, they are doing enjoy a pleasant shrimp, though probably not on the barbie. Raw shrimp popped into their tank are going to be quite adequate. Minus, so there you have got it. Some information about the highest 3 pet sharks out there. Remember, research, and research again. Sharks are majestic creatures, and want a home they will grow comfortably into.